Welcome to Take Two for this Monday, the 7th of September, 2020. I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad you decided to come along for the ride on this Labor Day. I hope you're enjoying a day off if you're getting one, grilling, and, it's kind of like the last holiday, if you will, to do summer stuff in a lot of places with colder weather creeping in. We don't have to worry about that here in southern Alabama. But I'll tell you, there are a few things we do need to worry about, and that's garden pests. Let me tell you something. We just had the most lovely discovery. I'm being sarcastic, can you tell? Most lovely discovery a couple of days ago when we went out to look at our tomato plants. Now, we don't plant very many vegetables. Michael does an herb garden with fresh basil and rosemary and things like that because they're not too hard to maintain. But we decided, hey, why don't we take a pot and grow a few peppers in one and maybe a few tomatoes in the other. And Michael planted cherry tomatoes. So they were growing beautifully, beautiful leaves and all that. And then one morning he went outside. Half of the plant was gone. It was like sticks sticking out of the pot. And several of the tomatoes had been chewed up. Are you guessing what went on? I'm going to show you here on the screen. I'm going to show you a little image of our visitors. It was called the hornworm. Oh, is he not disgusting? All right. They actually are quite interesting to watch because they are very, very diligent in their task, if you will. But they can chew up, enough of them, can chew up an entire tomato plant overnight. And that's just about what had happened. Michael picked off about 5 or 6 of them that morning. And here, I'm going to show them to you again. Look at them. Now, they are huge. You could see there's like a little cherry tomato there in the image, and there's a whole tomato. You could see just how big they are. They're big. They could be upwards of 3-4 inches long. And they were just diligently on there. Now, it's funny. They camouflage themselves as leaves, as kind of curled up leaves. And they hide behind curled up leaves. But in fact, they are just munching away. Not just the tomatoes, but the vines. And it's just basically sticks sticking out. Now, if you were to go out there and see the pot now, no matter how hard we battled these little green creatures, they completely destroyed our one pot of planted tomatoes. There are nothing but sticks sticking out of that pot now. Just like that. And that's something. Think about little things, those little hornworms of your life that just sneak up on you overnight and just devour every good and perfect thing in your life. Have you ever had that happen? And you just say, how did this happen? Well, here's the thing. If we'd been a little more diligent and checked thoroughly, maybe 2-3 times a day, we might have been able to nip that in the bud. But we discovered those few, got rid of them, and then waited another day or two before we checked again, and boom, before you know it, everything was devoured. Now, I'm not saying it's our fault. Please understand that. Things do just happen sometimes that just hit you overnight, and all of a sudden you're stuck with a situation that is less than favorable. But there are many things we can do. Now think about all the tomato growers who are out there who are trying to do things naturally without pesticides and so forth. Because we didn't put any pesticides on this. I'm sure that we could have studied a little bit more and gotten some natural pesticides and all that. But we didn't do all that just for one pot of tomatoes. But the professional growers who do that, especially the organic farmers, they have to. They have to be diligent. Otherwise, there would be no tomatoes in this world because hornworms would take over. They're nasty little things. They actually have little horns on them. They're terrible. But there are a lot of little hornworms in our lives, things that we let sneak up, and we don't bother with the pesticides. We don't bother even trying to do it the natural way, the good way, the simple ways, to just say, look, if I am diligent in keeping these little nasty things out of my life, then I can live a good and wholesome life. But we do let bad little hornworms in, like bad attitudes, jealousies, short tempers, lack of understanding, selfishness. Those are the little hornworms that can take over our lives. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves being thoroughly selfish and thoroughly angry and bitter all the time. And there are people, do you know people whose lives are entirely, completely consumed with those sort of little pests in their lives? This is a good time to stop, take stock and say, do I have any little pests in my life? Do I need to get out some good pesticides like patience, love, selflessness? Those are the pesticides that'll combat those nasty little pests. Because between you and me, I don't need any more of these things in my life. Do you? Now listen, go out and be a blessing to somebody today. You may end up being the only one who is. If you know somebody who has some nasty pests in their lives and they're really, really trying to get rid of them, encourage them. Go over, see them, and tell them about the pesticides of love and patience and goodness and kindness, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeannesigler. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time I post another Take Two. Now listen, you guys, have a blessed and wonderful day. Have a safe and wonderful and grand Labor Day, okay? And I will see you back on Wednesday. Love ya. Bye-bye.